Campaigning for the first phase of the West Bengal Assembly elections has now ended. The state has entered the 48-hour silence period now ahead of polling this Thursday. In the first phase of elections, remember, 152 constituencies across 16 districts will go to vote. According to the official figures, there are over 36 million voters, and of these, 18.4 million are male voters, 17.5 million are female, and 465 are third gender voters. The Election Commission of India has stepped up security arrangements across the state ahead of the polling. More than 8,000 booths have been identified as super sensitive. To ensure free, fair and peaceful polling, central forces have been deployed along with surveillance teams and quick response units. Strict monitoring has been ordered in border areas, with some zones sealed to prevent untoward incidents. Authorities say these measures are essential to maintain law and order during the voting process. Meanwhile, leaders from all major parties have been holding rallies across the state, aiming to sway the undecided voters before the mandated period of silence. This was all through the day today till 5 p.m. Among the key contenders is Bharatiya Janata Party's Shubhendu Adhikari, who's the leader of opposition. He's thrown a big challenge to the incumbent Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. He's being pitted against Pabitra Kaur, a long-time associate who recently joined the Trinamool Congress in Nandigram. Next up is former two-time MLA from Murshidabad, Shawnee Singha Roy. She's returning to the fray on a TMC ticket after narrowly losing to BJP's Gauri Shankar Ghosh back in 2021. Dilip Ghosh is a senior BJP leader and the former state president. He's there as well fighting this election. He's been a prominent face of the party's expansion in West Bengal. He's contesting from Kharagpur Sadar. Veteran Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is making a comeback after 25 long years to assembly politics. This is seen as a crucial move, remember, to revive the Congress party, particularly in Murshidabad. He faces BJP MLA Shubrata Moitra, who is seeking a second term from the Behrampur Assembly constituency in Murshidabad district. While Phase 1 takes place this Thursday, remember, the remaining 142 seats will go to polls on the 29th of April, and the fate of the 294-member Assembly will be sealed on the 4th of May when the counting gets underway. All right, let me go across to our correspondent Dharamjot Kaur. She's joining us live from Malda in West Bengal. She's been tracking all the ground developments ahead of Phase 1 of the elections. Dharamjot, all eyes now, of course, are on the first phase of voting. This is the 48-hour period of silence that we're looking at. Get us the general sentiment among people. The place where you are is a crucial border district. It has had major security concerns in the past as far as illegal immigration is concerned. Now, of course, employment and, employment, of course, and education is also one of the key sectors that people want their issues to be resolved in.
Well, absolutely, Shreya. But coming to the question of security first, there are close to 240,000 security personnel that have been deployed across all the assembly constituencies where elections, the first phase, will be held on Thursday. Just to give you a sense of even where I am, I'm standing at one of the busiest crossings in Malda in the English Bazaar constituency right now. I was here yesterday as well. We're seeing probably a third of movement as compared to the past few days, which means a lot less people are stepping out now as the countdown begins to voting day. There's also more police present consistently ever since all the rallies ended at 5 p.m. It's been 3 hours since then. We're officially in the silent period, and there's a lot more security presence at all the crossings across Malda. And I'm sure that's true for other districts as well, because there's several of them which the Election Commission had identified as sensitive, especially certain polling booths, to ensure that the entire process goes very smoothly. So very high security. Of course, there's an undercurrent in terms of who's going to win this election and what the voters are really thinking. As you rightly mentioned, there are a lot of undecided voters. Interestingly, Shreya, there are also a lot of voters who do not want to openly talk about which party they're supporting. They're focused on the issues and they're fairly mum in terms of which side they are keen on taking. because there's so many people and locals over here who want to avoid any sort of confrontation and conflict with each other. And so that, in essence, gives you a sense of how high octane this entire election campaign season in West Bengal has been. In terms of the issues, as you rightly mentioned, there is a myriad of them that the voters want covered, from employment to also investment that will generate more jobs. And this is true for both the rural and the urban population. One key concern that a lot of people have is a lot of youth from West Bengal is moving out of the state for better opportunities, and they want that to change in the future. Which party and which government that comes up can do that? That's the big question, but we'll find out on May the 4th, Shreya.
That's right. As far as the big electoral fights are concerned, Dharamjot, you've got some interesting battles coming up, whether it's Shubhendu Adhikari versus Mamata Banerjee or Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary making a comeback in assembly politics. Is really interesting how this electoral battle will pan out, of course, between phase 1 and phase 2. But how are the people looking at it? Because there's the incumbent Trinamool Congress, then you've got the BJP making some tall promises as well, and the Congress and the left trying to make a comeback and trying to sort of get deeply into the seats, the constituencies across West Bengal.
Well, there's a bit of a split verdict in terms of what people are saying. There are many who do want to see change in governance. It's been 3 terms that Mamata Banerjee has been serving as West Bengal's chief minister, and that's about 15 years of time that we're talking about here. So there are many who are seeking some sort of change in governance to see what kind of difference that does a different party make in terms of policies for the state. But there are many voters who are also satisfied with the incumbent authorities that are in place. They want the status quo to remain unchanged. There are also several who will be voting for other parties. We're looking at the Congress and the left front also. Though they do not end up winning a lot of assembly constituencies, they do end up making a dent in terms of the vote share that they end up cutting into. Whose vote share will they cut into in terms of the BJP or the TMC in this bipolar contest that's happening in West Bengal? I think that's going to be very interesting to watch out for, Shreya.
Absolutely. Dharamjot, I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for joining us with the Ground Report from West Bengal.